Well, hello, slot car enthusiasts. My name is Ted, and this is going to be the BPSlot Racing channel. The BP is shortened for Black Pearl, which is my other YouTube channel that you can catch here if you're interested in people out in their Jeeps traveling to remote places and camping in the wild. But this channel is dedicated specifically to slot car racing. So let me give you a little bit of background. I'm in my, let's just say, high 60s right now. And this past Christmas we were discussing Christmas gifts that we used to get. And one of the things that came to mind was an old Eldon racetrack that kept me occupied for hours a day for actually many years, until I guess I kind of outgrew it, joined the army, couldn't take it with me, whatever. Anyway, we got to talking about that slot car track, and I got to thinking, that's one of the things I miss about Christmas, because some of my most memorable Christmases had to deal with getting the slot car track initially and some new cars, and I used to spend hours banking curves and truing up tires. I did this seriously over 55 years ago. Building lights for my tracks and running wires and soldering and stuff like that. And I'm in my early teens, and actually it was probably a little earlier than that. So if I'd said 60 years, then I would be closer. So I got to doing some research, and I thought, I wonder if you can even get a 1/32 scale slot car set these days, because I know that after I left the hobby, there was a proliferation of HO, and everybody had HO this, HO that, HO trains, everything, HO everything. And you know what? I always liked the bigger cars. I didn't like the tiny little cars. You could barely see any detail. And they were fast, but they just weren't, I don't know. It just wasn't what I remembered as a child. So I got to do doing some research. And believe me, I researched YouTube for several months before I decided on a Carrera track. I didn't realize that it was still such a big deal. Now it's a far bigger deal in Australia and in the UK than I'm finding it here, but in doing my research and in making connections on Facebook, I come to find out that there's still a strong and growing slot car community right here in my own town. Now, I don't intend on partaking in any of that. I'm retired. I've got dozens of hobbies, but one of my newest and favorite has been this Carrera slot car track. It has really brought back good memories from many, many years ago. So the Carrera track that I selected, the Spirit of Speed, came with 3 cars and 3 controllers, though they're wired and not wireless, which I have no issue with so far. So all I needed to do was buy another car, and thank you, Massimo, for the tip on the Ferrari FFXK. Yeah, that was my very next car, and another controller, and now the whole family, when we get together, we just have a blast racing around that track, and it's been a real hit, especially to my 6-year-old neighbor kid. Yeah, he's over here almost daily. Or would like to be over here almost daily. Had to rein him in a bit. But yeah, he's having a blast. And the nice thing about it is you can control the speed of the cars to where it's not just one crash or another, and he's getting off on watching it fly off the track and have parts fall off of it. Those days are over if you can get control of things. So why don't I show you the track? So as you can see here, I have jumped in with both feet. Yes, like I said earlier, I did a lot of research about a lot of different other tracks, the Polycar, the Scalextrics, and some of the other ones. And I settled on the Carrera here because I like the idea that the track is actually 1/24 scale, and of course I've got 1/24 scale cars to run on it. I know each of these sets has its pluses and minuses, pros and cons, but yeah, I went ahead and settled for the Carrera. No surprise there. Okay, now this is the track layout that's suggested for the Spirit of Speed. As you know, it comes with 3 cars, which is another attraction, and 3 controllers, though they are wired and not wireless. And a fairly good sized track. Yes, I see it's on the floor. That's not ideal, but you know, when you've been out of it for 55 years, you really don't have a place anymore. But soon enough, when I move to my place in Central Oregon, I will have quite a large shop, and I plan quite a large track. So the first thing you're going to notice is this is not the stock track. No, I went ahead and spent the extra bucks on a pit stop. There's really not much reason to have a digital track if you don't have a pit stop. I also added this particular lane change, which I will use in my new setup when I get to Central Oregon. And of course, when you do this, you have track pieces left over. This replaces 2 straights, I think, or 1 straight, and anyway, something like that. And then you can go ahead and redistribute your straights a little bit here and add them here and actually expand the track some. So I currently have one of my NSR Formula 1 cars. There's a pile of tires, which indicates that I have replaced everything with Paul gauge tires. I'm really enjoying these magnetic racing kits, and now I have some really cool looking track lights, and who doesn't like the Dunlop arch? So down the back straight here, oh, I've got some spectators, mostly because I needed a couple of guys. I think I put one of my guys, yeah, one of my guys there, and gave him an orange vest. He's not really a construction worker, and as you can see, there's a gentleman there getting ready to climb the light tower. That straight is a leftover piece from when I put the pit lane in, and my next track will not have a crossover because it really ain't natural. So this is not a real fast track. I can't make those Indy cars fly through here because there just is no straightaways, and they're a little squirrely in the corners. But we're averaging about 3.5 second lap times. Okay, the Spirit of Speed comes with 3 cars. The Aston Martin Vantage and the Pink Pig, which is an absolute monster, and no one can catch it. And of course the Corvette keeps up pretty well. And thank you, Massimo at BPSlot for turning me on to the Ferrari. I like it a lot. It's a fast car, and it's nice looking too. And for my birthday, I recently got this Mustang GTY from my sweetheart. It's a 1/24 scale track, and so you got to have some 1/24 scale cars, and I really like the GT40s. And of course that's the Ken Miles GT40. I'm still keeping my eye out for a Ferrari 330 P3, so if you know somebody, let me know. I may have to build one from a kit. Okay, that's it for now. I wanted to keep this video kind of short. Just by way of introduction. I really would like to shout out though a couple of people. Dave there at Slot R in the UK. It's fun watching him. He's got some great ideas. Massimo at BPSlot, he's been a big influence. And who can deny that Boone's Slot Car Garage hasn't inspired all of you. at one time or another. And there are several others. My channel is going to be similar. If I find something worthwhile to review, I'm not monetized. I'm not trying to make a bunch of money or any money. My other channel is basically a video journal for my kids and grandkids to look at when I'm long gone. And I have had some issues with some cars that I thought might be interesting. I've searched the internet about a few issues, like adding an FT Slot Technic chip to the NSR Formula cars. That was fun. And I'd like to share some of that with you because I couldn't find any information about anybody who tried to actually fit a Slot Technic into the NSR Formula 86 to 89 cars. That was interesting. And I'll share all that kind of stuff. Otherwise, yeah, just like and subscribe. Turn on notifications in case I post something interesting or important. And if you don't find it interesting or important, just tune it out. So, till I'm back on again, this is Ted. This is BPSlot Racing. And I'll catch you next time.